Hey, good morning to you. Yes, sir. Jesus is Lord. Yes, sir. The Word works. And Jesus is the same today, yesterday, and forever. So what he did in the New Testament, he's still doing today. We just have to go to it and read it. Gospel of Mark, chapter 10. A man by the name of Bartimaeus. He's referred to as blind Bartimaeus. So he must have been blind for quite some time. And Jesus healed him. So what we want to do is look at what Bartimaeus did in order to get Jesus to heal him, or if you'll let me say this, to get God's attention and receive from God. So that if Frank does the same thing that Bartimaeus and some of these other people did in the Bible, he'll receive just like they did. So starting down here in verse 46, it says, as Jesus was going into town, Bartimaeus was sitting by the highway side begging. Verse 47, and when he heard that it was Jesus, when he saw the word come by close enough to receive it, it says, he cried, Jesus of Nazareth, and said, Jesus, thou son of David, have mercy on me. And many charged him, Bartimaeus, that he should keep his peace or shut up. Now, let me just say this to you. Pit bull faith. We're going to talk about it in several different cases. Somebody tells you you can't do that, you better find out what it is they say you can't do, because probably they didn't do it and they don't want you to do it and they want you to suffer just like they suffered. That's religious people not wanting you to get God's best for you. But I'm going to tell you something. I'm getting everything that God's got for me, and I don't care who else gets it or not. Bartimaeus was that way. Now watch this. So many charged him that he should hold his peace, and he cried the louder, hollering and saying, thou son of David, have mercy on me. He didn't let other people tell him what he could not have. Now I'm going to deal with that for a minute to you. I'm not going to let other pastors, other religious people tell me what I cannot have. I can have anything that's in this promise book. It's kind of like going into Walmart. They got all kinds of stuff in there. I can buy motor oil for my car. I can buy tools to fix my car. I can buy tires to put on my car. I can buy eggs and bacon for breakfast. And I'm the one that chooses what I get. All that stuff's laid out there. In fact, they got clothing in there for me and my wife. I mean, we can get anything we want to, and we don't get to the counter and they say, oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Matchin, you can't have that motor oil. Oh, I'm sorry, Miss Patch, you can't have that blouse or whatever you bought. No, the choice is ours. Well, I got a Walmart catalog here. The choice is mine as to what I receive, and I'm not going to let you or anybody else talk me out of it. So he began to cry the louder. In other words, he says, I'm going to get mine. So I'm going to say it. Bless God, I'm going to get mine. I believe you got sense enough to get yours. Then it says Jesus stood still. He got his attention. Jesus walking, by the way, going into Jericho there, I believe it was. He was just going his own way, didn't have it on his daily planner, if you will, or on his schedule in his telephone. It said, today I'm going to heal the blind man. No. People came to him and made a demand on his power. And here's just one of them. Jairus made a demand on his power. And Jesus stood still. Now watch this. And commanded him to be called. And they called. The same people, I believe it was, that told him to shut up, now says, whoa, be of good cheer, and come forth, rise. He calleth thee. You see, he got God's attention by asking God to do something for him. I won't be able to finish the whole thing today. And verse 50, he, Bartimaeus, casting away his garment, rose and came to Jesus. Now, I'm just going to have to say this to you. He got up and he took his beggar man's coat and flung it away. That's what that word, rise, and threw it away. Why did he do that? Because he knew he wasn't going to need it anymore. See, corresponding actions with what you believe. Now, I'm not telling you to go do something stupid and, flush all your medicine down the toilet, but I believe it's going to come a time that you won't need it anymore, and you're going to go back to the doctor, and the doctor's going to say, I don't know what's happened here, but you don't need that anymore. Then you can go home, flush it down the toilet. But see, he put some corresponding action to what his faith was saying, and rising up, he flung away. He threw away his beggar man's coat because he knew that Jesus was there and that he was going to receive his healing. That's why he cried out to him, and he wasn't going to need to be a beggar anymore. Had a guy one time come to me in a service and say, will you pray for my healing? Certainly. And as I began to lay hands on him, he said, well, wait a minute. But if I'm healed, that means I got to go back to work. I said, well, yeah. He says, well, I'm not sure I want my healing. I like, this government stuff taking care of me. I'm disabled and I can park in the handicapped parking places. Well, I'm on that. I never park in a handicapped parking place because that's saying you're going to need it whether you need it or not. And most of the people here in Alabama that I see parking in the handicapped parking places are just big, fat, and lazy. It's not that they can't walk or they're on a wheelchair. They're just too lazy to walk a little bit, and they think they're special and they can park there in that parking place. No, no, no. Bartimaeus said, I'm not going to be a beggar anymore. I don't need this anymore. I'm going to receive my sight. And that's really important to come to the place where when God shows up, whatever's wrong with you is going to be changed. And I'm going to have to get into this tomorrow and finish it tomorrow. But I want you to know the same power that healed Bartimaeus will heal me and you if we'll believe it. So until I'm with you tomorrow, saints, remember, hey, Jesus is Lord. Thank God the word works.